have her mic on because it'll be an echo in here.
Ah,
So that's what's
okay.
happening. So she's
So
watching.
sign language.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Have her mic on because it'll be an echo in here.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, so she's
So
watching.
sign language.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're
Okay.
getting a double play.
That's a little weird.
That's okay. I'm fixing that as we speak.
Okay. So sign language.
Okay, that should work just fine. Now go back here. And no double play. Yay.
Awesome. Well, I know Jane texted me and she's might be able to hop on later. I know Shannon is working late, and so if she hops on, it'll be later too. So
Okay. Cool. So I'm back in my office, and Jackie, you've got a couch on its end. That's interesting. Oh, that's a big chair. Sure.
You're
can you
muted.
open your mic?
Sorry, say again. Oh, that was for Jackie.
Yeah, I'm redoing my floor, and this is kind of the only place that I can sit right now. So it's actually quite comfy. I'm just trying to see if I can move the computer a little closer. Because anyway, I'll fiddle around with that while you guys are introducing everything.
Okay.
It's like a plan. Colin's note taker is here, but unfortunately, Colin will not be joining us in person tonight. So that's that one.
Well, we're still waiting for Brent.
We are. Okay, fine. So, Tim, you're wearing your glasses again tonight. Looking
Yes,
very sophisticated.
thank you. Got to give my eyes a break from the contacts every now and then.
Yeah. And here's Brent.
There you are. Welcome, welcome,
Well,
Brent.
now we
So
can
good to
start.
see you.
Yep, there you are, and we can start. Good. What I am doing, if people would like to have their recordings down, I am, unless there's a special reason, and there is for Colin tonight, but I do have recordings happening with Fathom. So I've decided,
I do not see YouTube recording going on now. Is that a thing?
yeah, it is. It's up there. It's saying it's
It is?
recording.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
But I mean, I can double check.
I
Uh,
I'm not seeing it, but
Details, YouTube Studio.
It shows on our side that we're live on YouTube.
Yep.
okay.
Okay, good. I
All
thought I
right.
got it live on YouTube. And then I just paused the playback. So on my end, so I didn't get double sound going here.
Okay.
So it should be. So you guys did confirm it's live on YouTube, correct?
It shows.
It does show YouTube and it does look like it is streaming to it. Yep.
Okay, great. Good. Okay, awesome. So if Brent has shown up, then it's definitely live. So there we go.
We're ready.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Everything's there. So guys, like I was saying, I am just going to limit, if people want my stuff, the Fathom note taker is fine, but having so many note takers in here is starting to clutter things up and everything else. So I'm going to start not giving access to note takers other than if there's a specific reason for it. So anyway, my note taker is me, and that's what I'm doing, recording this as a backup. If it doesn't get to YouTube um, and to Facebook, then I've got my third double check thing. So that's the point of doing this. Colin can't make it tonight, so he's putting his YouTube note taker in, and that's acceptable. But the rest of them, I'm going to go, nope, not right now. Takes up bandwidth and everything else. So, hey guys, welcome to the this version of the BDE. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Tim. I think you're starting off tonight.
Yep.
If that's
All right,
accurate.
everybody. Yes, sir. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the 316th episode of the Blair Dunkley Experience, where we discuss mind models. Mind models are a collection of extensively tested thought frameworks, skills, and behaviors that enable people to transform their lives intentionally. They have been tested and proven to be 80% effective when applied consistently versus mindset, which is only 1% effective. Your host for this evening is Blair Dunkley, the creator of mind models. The BDE is Blair's gift to you. We are Tim and Becky Graff, your co-hosts and certified mind model coaches, along with the amazing Patty McClurg. My models have helped us in every area of our lives, not only in business, but personally, resolving an 8-year issue in our marriage within a couple of hours, to the navigation of grief and PTSD from a tragic accident that we experienced in 2020 where we lost both of our girls. My models have allowed us to be more effective, increase our capacities and speed of recovery without traditional counseling. Whether you've been with us for a while or you're brand new to the Blair Dunkley Experience, we want to say welcome. Also, if you're joining us on YouTube, we'd appreciate it if you would comment as we go throughout this evening. And also, if you're catching this on the replay on Facebook later, we'd appreciate it on both platforms if you would like, subscribe, and comment in the comments while you're on there. So welcome, everyone, and we're ready to get going.
It definitely helps the algorithm a lot to get this out to other people as well. So we'd super appreciate it. Even if you just jump on there, like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, and definitely like it and comment, please. And thank you. Okay, going forward.
All right, you guys. Did you have something you wanted to leftovers, Blair, at all?
Nope, I'm good. Nope. I'm just going to make you guys co-host. That's it.
Okay. So for the last couple episodes, we've been talking about feedback. And tonight we had some requests to spend a little bit more time doing that. So we're going to pair people up and have them practice both giving and receiving feedback so they can experience what it feels like to both give and receive. And let's see, I think that we've got enough people to do a couple pairs. Jackie, are you in a position where you would like to participate in this portion? Please let me know either in the chat or...
I'm having a major issue with my internet. I'm gonna see if I can go over to JJ and Tim's and sit in their boot room and use their internet. So I'm gonna turn myself off and I'll just maybe skip this unless you need me to pair up with somebody. It'll take me a few minutes to get over there and hook up my phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. I just wanted to check in. Lori, are you in a position where that's something you'd like to participate in? I know you got double mics where you're at. Probably not. Okay. Okay. All right. How about you, Leslie? Leslie and Brent, are you guys game to practice both giving and receiving feedback to each other in a very specific area that you'd like feedback on?
Sure.
Brent, you good with that?
Yes. Yeah, I'll do it.
Do
Right.
we, Leslie, have you had an opportunity to kind of, have you had a chance to hear about the feedback and watch some of the episodes that we've done over the last couple of weeks? I know you've been out. I just wanted to check in with you and see if you're familiar with the feedback formula that we've been talking about.
Not at all. And no, I haven't been able to get back to watch past episodes. The last one I participated in was 312
Okay.
back on September 17th. Almost a month.
Wow. It's been a bit since we've seen you. Good to see you
Yeah.
back.
I'm back.
Awesome. So just to kind of catch up to speed real quick, we over the last couple weeks, it's been, well, 2 or 3 weeks now, we've been talking about feedback and giving and receiving feedback. With the mind models, Blair has a very and we have a very specific way of giving and receiving feedback that works both for the person giving and the person receiving the feedback. Um, Basically, the mind model framework for feedback is I feel, and then there's the blank after that, which we fill in with a feeling word. So I feel happy. When you do, and then that next section is you fill in with a behavior or something that that person has done that makes
Which
you feel.
is something that is externally verifiable, observable, that you've seen, and that impacted the emotion that that you described.
And when we're giving feedback, we want to focus on giving feedback from a place of care and concern. It comes from the heart with the intention of when you're giving somebody else feedback, it is giving them constructive feedback, giving them something from the heart to hopefully help them either in an area, recognize an area that they're doing very well, or an area where you might see that they can improve. Now, the person receiving the feedback receives it with the head. And so they receive it as information. That doesn't mean that, makes the what the giver is saying is true. It's just simply information that then they can either allow in or it's simply information. But as you're receiving feedback, it's received with the head as information. And then if it feels,
And then you let it trickle down
yeah, if
into
it,
your heart,
Yep.
so that you in a almost in a gratitude style
yeah,
receptiveness. So I hear the information. Thank you for sharing that with me. It's kind of that intonation. And I'm wondering, Leslie, would it be helpful to see this in flow for you so you can kind of see how it works first?
Okay. You gave an example as a way to provide feedback is I feel emotion when you behave here.
yes.
But you did not give that for receiving.
So with receiving, again, it's the person receiving is receiving it as information.
Oh, okay. There's not a sentence that no,
Correct.
there wouldn't be, would there?
Thank you.
It's simply receiving it as information, receiving it as, and as Becky was sharing, you receive it with the head, let it trickle down to the heart as acceptance, and then it's simply a response of thank you. Now you can, if you have a question or if there's something that you want to clarify, it is okay to ask a clarifying question. Do you mind if I ask you a question when you mention this? and you ask your question. Clarify. But yeah, usually the receiving is simply received as information, and it's just a thank you.
And this is the mind model of feedback, giving and receiving feedback. It is different than other forms of giving information to other people, which we will cover a little bit later. But this is very specific. And your experience with it, at least in my experience, has been very unique versus anything else that I've received information on from this process. So, Patty, would you mind, well, and let me guess just a second, Patty. Leslie, would it help before you and Brent go through it to see an example, to hear the interplay between somebody giving and receiving feedback?
Yes.
Patty, would you mind picking somebody to role model or role play this with, please?
Okay. Jackie, are you available yet? I see your picture there.
I'm trying another location in my little place here. Let's have a look.
Okay. Are you available to do a give and receive feedback with me?
Yes.
Okay. Is there an area in your life that you would like feedback on?
Oh. The participation in group.
Okay. I feel,
I'm sorry, Mhm.
just a minute. I'm
She's collecting her
coming up with
thoughts.
my feeling words here. Just a minute.
Oh, there we are.
I feel positive expectancy when you are on the BDE and look forward to hearing what you share.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Leslie, what did you notice about their exchange?
Patty made a clear statement with her emotion and about the behavior that she noticed. And Jacqueline was just acknowledged it.
Mhm.
Would you like to try now with Brent? Brent, would you mind
Sure.
leading off with Leslie? And this is one key thing. I don't know if I said it already. You can request for feedback in a specific area or about a very specific thing. So not giving, people the option to just run ragged over everything. You can be specific about what you want to get feedback on. So just keep that in mind, that you do have the ability and the option to direct where that goes and what it's about.
Okay. Leslie, is there a specific area you would like feedback on?
Shoot.
Nothing is coming to mind.
Okay. All right. I feel honored when you share your personal experiences with the mind models on the BDE.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How was that for you, Leslie?
Well, it felt good. it makes, yeah. Um, it's, I guess that's the external verifications from the three E's that are important.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the three E's are excuse me, the three E's are things that is the mind model that I keep going back to probably the most. So that, yeah, when you're in running your own business, you don't always get um, that external verification that what you have done for your client has um, been effective and efficient and help them get along their way. And yeah, we get paid, which is nice, but getting getting recognition is also good. So
Is it
yeah,
exactly recognition or is it acknowledgement of what's actually working?
probably acknowledgement that more so than recognition.
Mm.
The recognition comes in the form of repeat business. The acknowledgement is that yeah, you know, the the information that we provided, that we created for them to make their decisions um, and develop a design and construction program, and
Mhm.
to be able to get to the end of that first, uh, faster, more efficient.
Absolutely. Do you
It's,
mind if I give you some feedback as well?
sure.
I feel and felt excited to have you back here on the BDE. I am going to now stack some feedback if you're okay with that. Leslie, I have felt and still feel impressed and delighted by how you have brought the mind models into your life on an identifiable, repeatable, and duplicatable manner. Your example of using the BDE, or sorry, your example of using the three E's on the BDE right now, just what you just shared, is highly effective and extremely relevant and yeah, highly effective. So I'm impressed with what you've been able to do.
Well,
Well
thank
done.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These sessions, these Tuesday evenings, and working with the mind models has benefited me immensely from what the last year and a bit that we've been participating.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to do things that would have turned into rant and rave uh, and work through issues that have come up that in a far better way
Mm-hmm.
than before. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Leslie, since you had your mic open, would you like to practice giving Brent feedback following the format that we just chatted about?
Sure.
And I did pop it in the chat if that's helpful.
If you don't mind, while you're thinking about that, Jackie, can I also, if you're wanting to participate, can you think of something else that you might like to receive feedback on? And or if you'd like to give feedback to somebody else, maybe we could think about doing that as well. Okay, is that
I-
okay? Leslie's going to go right now, but just planting a seed. Is that okay?
Sure. Growing edges for participation in the group.
Okay, we'll get you to that. I'll get to that with you in a moment.
Okie doke.
Leslie.
Brent, I feel privileged to hear your wisdom when you share your understanding of the mind models.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Leslie, how did you experience giving feedback in that flow?
Good,
What kind of good?
because it's
In what way?
well, it's a true statement.
Yes, it is.
As to what kind of good, what's the mind model for that?
Describing feelings, that's my model.
What I need to practice, obviously. No, it did feel good. It felt good to have the opportunity to do so.
Mhm. We had Colin on the other week when we were talking about giving and receiving feedback, and I had a private call with him and gave him a challenge of coming up with 500 feeling words, 250 positive feeling words, and 250 negative feeling words. He has since come up with over 1,300. So,
Wow.
yeah, and climbing. So we have a very large dictionary for him to utilize the mind models, or to him to identify my feeling words with the mind model describing feelings. So lots of words that we rarely use or intentionally use. Mhm. By the way, Leslie, I I deeply enjoyed your feedback that you just gave to Brent. It was very impressive. Brent, I
Thank you.
concur with Leslie and his comment about your wisdom with the giving your perspective on the mind models. I love the depth. I love the clarity. I love the focus and the perceptions that you share.
Thank you. Thank you. Leslie, may I ask a question about your feedback?
Yes.
Your feeling? You say you felt good. Where did you feel that when you were giving the feedback?
I see that hand clapping. uh,
Well done, Brent.
Yeah, really.
here's your wisdom coming out again.
Yes.
It was heartfelt. Take some time to realize it, but yes.
Exactly. And then I go back to receiving when you were receiving the feedback, where did you feel that when you received the feedback? Where did you receive that at first? You stated you felt that in your heart and good, and then when you received the feedback, where was that that place?
Where did you let it trickle down to?
Yeah, I did take it as information, and
You
yeah,
did.
it did trickle down. It did trickle down to my heart.
Wonderful. That's it. That's exactly
Amazing.
what you explained. A couple
Yeah.
weeks was where giving and receiving, where you're feeling that, where is it coming from, and where you're taking it in, and that's exactly how you explained it. Coming from the heart when you're giving the feedback, and then taking it as information and letting it trickle down when you're receiving it. So wonderful.
Amazing. Thank you.
Now, I would like you to also note how you're feeling right now, Leslie. I don't know if you caught yourself, but I certainly did. I see a level of, first of all, self-acceptance and an evaluation that you just did that was excellent, and building the opportunity to build self-confidence in what you just recognized yourself as doing. So very well done.
There's
Now,
there's a
Thank
glow about your face. And it's not just your light, like there is a
Yeah.
glow on your face right now.
Yeah.
It's visible. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thank you.
Well,
you're very welcome.
And then Jackie, are you in a position? Did you have somebody specific that you wanted to give you feedback on your growing edges in participation in group?
uh, no, I have an idea, but I'm just kind of wanting to get some general information and kind of see where I'm at as far as where other people are at, kind of, if that makes any sense.
Brent, would you be interested in giving Jacqueline feedback there on this topic?
I was
You
trying
were
to think
looking like you were,
Well, I
yeah,
was
you,
thinking over like her participation in groups, like what how those times went. So I was going through that to see if I had anything. Let's see.
So, Brent, for me, a growing
Yeah.
edge is areas that I might improve on.
Okay. Okay.
Or like things to
Let's see.
tighten up, or
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. In the group stuff. Okay. Um. Hey, Jackie, I feel overwhelmed. And sometimes in the group sessions when you're sharing it, like oversharing or taking up the amount of sharing, the amount of time. So that's what if I can tighten that up.
now you can follow that
Yeah.
up with, and how are you with that?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can do that.
And how are you with that, Jackie?
um, I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Do I do it? Oh. I'm trying to figure out how, in a way that I can kind of monitor myself with that, and I'm a little bit lost because I do
Okay. Be a bit more specific in is that
it.
so maybe
Yeah,
help? Okay.
like when
Um
you overshare, is
yeah,
that like
maybe
oversharing my feelings, or
mm,
oversharing in the amount of time, or the depth I go in, or like maybe.
I would say the oversharing and the amount of time it takes up. Like it's not everything, but there are times where like when the sharing is just the amount of time um taken up. And I believe it was Blair had addressed that at once or twice before. But so uh yeah, it was just the
Yeah,
amount of time
I
taken.
remember something like that from last week.
Hmm.
Blair mentioning that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would love to give you a growing edge, Jackie. Um, I am, well, I feel very impressed with your willingness to dive deep and look at yourself consistently in a constructive manner. I find that extremely, um, I want to say good, but that's not a very effective. Uh, it- I find you doing that with curiosity and an intention and sometimes an intensity on moving forward in trying to figure out yourself. I feel I feel excited by how you go through and explore different parts of what you do and how you do it. How are
Okay,
you with that?
thank you.
Yep, Shannon must be agreeing with that because she lit up a heart. I also, if you don't mind, is it okay for me to continue? It's an
Yes,
ed.
are you gonna sandwich this? I'm waiting. I'm
Okay.
having little sweat
So
on my head.
yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. Um, I um okay. This is going to I felt excited when you referred to tighten up in your thing there. I felt excited. I also felt heard from the other week or so. I would hate uh I I feel scared and at a loss, like I of you not contributing. Um, your contributions are excellent and exciting and um, add depth to our opportunity here. Tightening things up is something that I would love for a behavior for an edge there, would love to see you do more of. So that would be hugely beneficial. I think in many areas of your life, but definitely here on the BDE, it would be just huge. So anyway, just
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, I'm wondering, and I don't know if this is appropriate or not, is if if I don't catch myself and somebody else does, can we have like a little signal so I can kind of figure out where I'm at, what the hell is going on, and kind of like zip it in the moment? Um, that would be really helpful while I'm kind of fumbling through finding that balance of not taking up like too much time or dominating in the group or whatever we want to call it. Uh, yeah, because I want to hear from other people too. So, mm,
I concur. I think that that would be um, now. What if we did this emoji? See that on my thing?
no, it's
Would
behind the live button. It looks like a little sun or something. What
actually Becky,
Long is like, ooh, ooh.
one. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one.
Let's just hope I'm not too
Okay.
far down the rabbit hole to notice it. Okay. Yes,
I just,
please.
yeah, I thought that that might be one of the simpler ways. And you know what? Now that that's been agreed upon, could we just use that as a signal if somebody is perceiving you as, you know, um,
And
going on
I
a
know
little?
that everybody will have different times when it occurs. So it's going to be very interesting to see
Exactly.
everybody's
You know
different
what? I
reactions.
don't think it's going to be widely different. It will be somewhat different, but not widely. I bet dimes to dollars to that. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that.
I always feel excited by how you accept growth feedback. That this is just what you did right here. I
Mhm.
love that. And look at Shannon. She's sending you a heart. Or
I'm
she's
sorry, with
hurting.
my little telephone here, I can't even see Shannon, but thanks, Shannon.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
Well, yep.
Aw,
So there.
thank
Anyway, there we go.
Okay. I think, Blair, did you have anything additional you wanted to add about the giving and receiving feedback portion?
Well, just the only thing that I wanted to do was, Brent, was there any feedback that you wanted to receive specifically?
Let's see. So I've received feedback on the participation and wisdom and that from Leslie. So what well, like Jackie, like a growth type of thing, or if there's something
growing edge.
well, yeah. Okay, yes, yeah, yeah.
What she said.
Yep, what she said.
Okay, who would like to go? Patty, I'm going to volunteer you or
Yeah, I sort of felt like that was coming this way. I feel interested when you share your thoughts on a discussion. And I feel stacking is something I don't have a lot of practice on here. So I feel I feel deprived periodically when you don't take more initiative to break into discussions. What you have to share is of value. There has been lots of external verification for that from many sources over a consistent period of time. And for you to take more initiative, I feel value to the group is being missed. I am concerned that we are missing value when you do not offer more
Mhm.
and more frequently. So, how did you experience that?
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's just as you know, took it in and I do sometimes miss sometimes I think I miss those opportunities and not taking that initiative. You know, times think I think there's times I don't even end up participating, you know, until the end. So yeah. So yeah, I will work on taking the initiative and 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 participating.
May I
And
ask you a question?
yes. Yeah.
When you are sitting back and not participating sometimes
Mhm.
until the end, are you having thoughts that you don't share, or what's going on for you when the difference between your active participation and sitting back? What is the difference for you there?
Sometimes would be taking in if it's something new or something I haven't really dug into, and that's usually when I'm a little more quiet. So I'll be writing notes or listening to the conversation. And there are times where there's new people, a couple of new people, and like say as an example, Leslie's they're really into what they're say is Blair or you, and they're going through some things, and just watching and taking it in. So those are usually the times when I'm not. A lot of times it's new things.
Do you perceive your value to the BDE? Or how do you perceive your value to the BDE?
Well, I would say initially not like on a low scale, on a low end, but from the feedback I've received several times, I would do the numbers, I don't know exact, but that my participation is valued, and it's you want me to take more initiative and participate. So yeah, with that, I mean, it to raise the level of the um, say like value that I bring to the BDE. Yeah. So thank you on that again.
I would like to build on that a bit. What I'd like to share with you my perception, and maybe this is a good jumping off point for Becky and Tim for perspective and perception and the rest of the stuff here, or Patty or whomever is going to do this one. But for me, what you did tonight with Leslie in the follow-up piece of asking him where he felt those feelings in his body was brilliant coaching, highly effective. And to be honest with you, I was super impressed. Like super, super, super impressed. That's what I would expect a high quality coach to be able to do and pull off. And you just did it effortlessly, which shows me your competency, your skill, and your knowledge. So well done, you, sir.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel very impressed by that.
Yeah, I
So
may
does
add something there, like between Patty and you.
Sure.
Like when Patty asks me, sometimes I sit back and sometimes I wait a little bit. Like I have okay, I have a question. Like, okay, that's coming up. Like, where is he feeling that? Is someone gonna ask that you or Patty? Someone like he's a little more involved. So I was like, well, sometimes that happens, and I'll wait a little bit. But from now, when I feel that waiting, when I have that waiting feeling, like I'm pausing, then I'll just go ahead and take that initiative and
Please.
go right in.
Yes, you don't need to wait for us.
Mhm.
You can, if it's something that we had intended to do or say, we're very excited to have you do or say it instead.
Okay.
So it's not like, although I feel appreciative when you give us that kind of respect, I
Mhm.
also feel your value to the group. Okay, this is that I just we're going to talk about perspective and perceptions coming up here because it's a different way to share information. I don't know how to put all of this into the feedback formula. I'll be real
I
honest.
would like to polish off where you left off. And again,
Okay.
I'm going to go back to excited and impressed.
Okay.
So I
Go
really
for it.
feel and impressed by your timing tonight on, going on to the body thing and where you're feeling it. Like that alignment is super tight, super tight. That behavior was just done spot on perfectly. So well done, you, sir. Very well done. Now,
Thank you.
Patty, you can pivot into the other one.
Okay.
However, just I feel a sense of curiosity watching you figure out giving and receiving feedback tonight, Patty.
Yes.
I
It's like I just feel the loss of a huge vocabulary trying to do this tonight. And the words are just like, where are they? Anyway, so perception, the conscious or subconscious interpretation of the sensations. So, Brent, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you received the
Mhm.
growing edge from me, from Blair, where did you feel that?
Initially, I just took it in my head as information, and then let it trickle down. You know, the excitement when you went ahead with the first one. And I was like, okay, a little more, joyful, and then the second one was like, oh, okay, and then a little down, and that feeling comes down like, oh man, a little not depressed, but like just a little sinking feeling going there. Like, okay, it's something to really pay attention to and work on. Like, oh man, I'm really like that missed feeling like that. That's what really got me. It wasn't like I wasn't participating. Is that, oh, we really want you to participate, and we miss that interaction. So that's where that feeling came in. Yep.
Okay. Do you
Where,
notice?
can I ask, where
Oh, go ahead.
where in your body do you feel, and then first things first, did you feel wanted and appreciated by the feedback that you received?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Great. Where did you feel that in your body?
That I would say I felt it in my heart, and then it was, yeah, I would say it stayed right around that area. Yeah, my shoulders, and I guess
Yeah, exactly. Because
relaxing
you
a little
started
bit,
doing
and
this, yeah,
yeah,
this sort of wiggle.
I love that.
Yeah, that whole thing there is definitely a way to start observing where somebody is feeling it in their body, where they move, like what parts of their body are they moving? So is it in their gut? Is it in their legs? Is it in their shoulders? Are they shaking it out or working it in? Like, that one was just like letting it sink in almost, like
yes, it's like
marinating it.
it's coming down, and you're like, oh, from here down. That's what it was doing. So the shoulders
Yeah,
first, and then it
yeah,
settled
just let it.
down. Yeah.
So true. So true. So remembering to observe the person and seeing how their body is reacting is critical. And that gives you, um, this is some of the calibration skills I use all the time to be able to make my observations, especially when I can see the person and just don't work off tone of voice, but seeing that. And then I can see if does that align congruently with what they're saying. So anyway, just thought I'd throw
Yeah.
that bone your way because you're grabbing a lot of this stuff really well, Brent. Really, really.
May I add some like different feelings
Please.
on the second part, like the to improve on? It was like a little bit in the throat, and then like come down the heart, but then I felt it in my gut as well. Not heavy, but just a little bit. That sinking out. So it was like that was pulling me down a little bit. Like, oh man.
Yep.
Is that
So
is that part of the shoulder? Is that kind of that right there and working it down?
well, on that part, that one, no, not so much on that one. It was just like you get a little bit of a almost as if you're like choked up, but like a little bit of pressure in the throat, and then as it comes down like that, almost you get
Mhm.
something like that. You try to swallow, and it's a little difficult. So yeah.
Mm.
I'm also going to bridge some of this thing in here. Leslie, do you mind if I comment on how I see you managing emotions sometimes?
Yes, go ahead. I have
I'll,
an
I'll be
idea.
as gentle as I can, and it's all
I
positive. That will
I
be
have a
terrible.
perception.
Yes, you do. You have to. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do And Brent just role modeled for you was to allow your body to move and let the emotions flow down into the rest of your body, not just into your heart area and throat and neck and, eyes. So, welling up and the rest of it, but let it feel like a warm blanket over your body and snuggling into it, especially on those positive feelings. Try and create metaphors for yourself of how to enjoy it. So that was something when I was a lot younger, in my 20s. I needed to learn how to do that, how to let myself appreciate that. As a young child, my dyslexia, I was humiliated and beaten up and a bunch of other things. But when I finally got to the point of getting positives, and I was in my late teens and early 20s. I was 21 when I started to take life skills coach training. But when I was 17, I was going into my mother's life skills coach training groups. And one of the students, baby coaches, we called them, coaches in training, shared their way of accepting positive feedback. She gave it as a metaphor of she was a native lady who would accept it as a warm blanket, but they have a thing called a blanket ceremony. So it would be with a lot of honor and a lot of warmth that the blanket would be placed around her shoulders and warm her entire body. That was one of the ones that she described. The other one was smudging, where she would take sage and smudge with the sage and feel and smell the aroma of the sage smoke as she was smudging, and how that always gave her a cleansed feeling of going through that. I love those metaphors. The blanket one is the one that stuck the biggest. The smudging, I got a bit, but the blanket was the big thing for me. So try and find your own metaphors, and relate it to your body so that you can just think about that as opposed to just feeling bottled up with bursting with emotion. So anyway, just a thought. Hopefully that worked for you, Leslie.
Thank you. Yes, I will ponder that and consider what
Try
could be my.
when you're pondering it, when you're considering it, just let it sort of do what you did there, that pause, that taking in and just accepting and finding something that works for you in a bigger sense. The perception that I see with your body is constricted emotions that are very strong, but constricted in a small area in you, as opposed to larger, like it filling and like stepping into a hot tub, maybe a warm bath or something like that, or walking into the shower and feeling warmed from top to bottom, or a warm rain for that matter, or a hike or something that is amazing for you to see, feel, or do. So anyway, just thought that might be useful.
May I
It
share
is. Thank you.
May I share an observation, Leslie and Blair?
Sure.
When I mentioned earlier you had that glow about your face, it wasn't just your light, Leslie. One of the things I noticed is there was almost, as Blair mentioned, with the filling up of, that fill up, I noticed that you had leaned forward and you almost like brought your chest came up, almost like you were being filled up, and you could literally see the glow in your face, like you were being, like that warm blanket had been draped over and you were being warmed. That's what I sensed when I could see that in your face with your head lifted, your chest came up. That's what I observed when I made that comment. Now that Blair's talking through that process, I went, yeah, okay, that's that glow that I was seeing in Leslie's face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to rewatch the video
You had great pride, appropriate pride, not anything else, just very self-confident pride showing at that moment.
Wow. Thank you.
Well done. Okay, I'm done. Patty, did you want to continue on? Perception, perspective.
Perception, perspective. When Blair was sharing with Leslie right now that his observations of appropriate pride, etc., that was not in the feedback formula, but that was information sharing. So Blair was sharing, we could call it his perspective on what was going on with Leslie. That's his point of view. And point of view, it can come from the front, the prefrontal cortex, but he was delivering Leslie a lot of information in his observations of Leslie, not just tonight, but things that he knows about Leslie from over time. When earlier, after he had given his feedback to Leslie, if you can remember back, and he was sharing perceptions, things that he noticed about Leslie tonight. So perceptions are more in that noticing body sensation kind of felt experience. And then perspective is a little more distant, a little higher view, a little more intellectual, if you will. But perspectives can come from many different directions. Perceptions we can have about ourselves, about others, and about a situation. So with all of this, we want to move from that sensory place that Brent beautifully started and took us on, starting in that sensory place and moving into, okay, what do I perceive? What do I notice about my body? What am I noticing about this whole experience? And then moving into, from there, what is my perspective on what's happening right now? So, Leslie, may I ask you a question? Based
Yes.
on a lot of the things that have been said tonight, what is your perspective on giving and receiving feedback?
Hmm. Well, you're certain. What I've learned is a method. I feel blank when you do behavior as being an effective way of providing feedback.
Okay, thank you.
It's yeah.
By the way, I wanted to fill you in because you weren't here in the previous few weeks when we're going over feedback here. But one of the things that this feedback formula is really effective with is even when people do not know how to receive the feedback, they rarely, because you're saying, I feel, and you give them a feeling word, not I feel that, but I feel, feeling word, that's perception, that what they perceive in that moment is generally just, oh, they're owning their feeling and they're sharing their point of view about my behavior. So the person receiving the feedback without training in this area has got a much higher probability of being able to just accept the feedback rather than deflecting it or just pushing it back or throwing it away or saying, F you and leave. Unless you're already in a fight, that's not the time to be giving feedback. But if you just gave the feedback to somebody and in a course of a conversation, whatnot, it's a rather effective way of doing it. Both positive and points of improvement type of feedback are highly effective to give this way. So,
May I
okay.
point out one more example that occurred tonight in terms of information sharing that Tim did very well in the beginning? When you have been gone, Leslie, for several weeks, and we're jumping into practicing, Tim filled in the gaps of information for you. He did not assume that you had watched it or, watched the replays or whatever. He tested his assumptions that you perhaps might need more information, that you would have a gap with what we were doing tonight. And he filled that in. So we're looking at assumptions. Assumptions are testable. And Tim tested that with you, and it was effective. So assumptions are testable. So we have assumptions, we have perspectives, and we have perceptions. And they're all numbers of different pieces of information. Lise was bringing up last week how many other ways there are to share information outside of the feedback formula. And so we wanted to drop some of those in and just mention them tonight. You're looking thoughtful, Leslie. Do you have a question?
No, I'm just agreeing that Tim, thank you, did test very effectively, and how where I was at from the past sessions, from the missed sessions. Yeah, cool. I did pick up on that, and it was well done.
I had
Yeah.
something to add there. What you were mentioning, it was with Blair as well, with Leslie earlier about the receiver more likely to accept the feedback. Is when we did it, jumped in the first time, Leslie didn't have much experience, the past two episodes, and understanding the receiving part, he did it exactly how, we want to work on receiving feedback. It was exactly that same way. So yeah, wanted to point that out, that was exactly what you were describing.
Yep.
Yes. Way to notice. Well done. And thank you for your contribution, Brent.
You will.
Absolutely. Like, you're spot on, buddy. You really are. Like, yeah,
Yes,
Jackson's
Jackie.
thumb is way totally up in the air. Like,
Yes, Jackie.
Yep.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah. Jackie's thumb is way up. She's in agreement.
Oh, she's in agreement. Okay.
Yeah, she is. Yep.
All right.
Oh.
So,
Okay,
you want to transition, Tim?
Yep. Are we in a place where we can transition to wrap up?
I think so.
All right. Okay, well, during our wrap up, we want to go around, and if everybody is able and willing, we'd love to hear your biggest takeaway and a number on your experience tonight from 1 to 10. So just going to go around the room. Jackie, are you in a position? Are we able to hear you? No,
For some reason, we cannot hear you. Oddly.
you're not muted. Yeah. Okay. Maybe if you'd like, maybe the chat. Okay. No worries, Jackie. Thank you. No worries. Shannon, are you in a position to share tonight? Yeah, it's good to see you.
I've had to keep the lights a little bit dim, so I'm a strange thing to look at.
No worries.
I've been in and out the last couple weeks on feedback, and I found focusing on the question when Brent asked the question about where he was feeling it, that follow-up question, picked up literally right where my brain left off with some of what I was trying to remember about receiving feedback. So that whole conversation, Blair, about the warm blanket and coming up with your own metaphors to, I mean, how fun would that be just to let somebody know, say, oh, thank you, that feels like a warm hug, you know, or something. And then, oh,
Yeah.
you gave someone a warm hug like that. It creates its own really giving energy to respond that way and to let someone know how what you said made them feel and where, you know what I mean? So that was really, I felt enriched learning those things.
Yay.
I've also been working on my feeling language vocabulary, and I know there's so many words, but I bought myself a feeling wheel, and it was really fun because when people were giving and receiving, I would look at this to try and find their words, and these are just basics. These are really, really basic to get my creativity going when I'm having an emotion. And so many of the things everyone shared were not on here. Like they were out of the ordinary wheel. And so I thought that that was a really fun piece too. Just watching everybody's vocabulary was enjoyable. I also appreciated at the end the little bit on assumptions, perspectives, and perceptions. I found that very interesting as well. So,
And
so
from
most of
one-
my things will be an 8 tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate that. Brent.
Yeah. From my perspective tonight, I would give you my number. I'd give it a 10. But one of the few times I gave it, the participation and the practicing of the feedback was great. And always receiving feedback is wonderful as well. So you get to see exactly where you perceive the perspective from other people coming through and giving that information to you. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So
Awesome.
just if there's other opportunities like this where we can do this again in different times, topics, that would be highly appreciated.
Mhm.
Right on. Thank you, Brent. And thank you for your participation. That was awesome.
Jackie's got her hand.
Oh, Jackie,
Can you hear me now?
we can.
Yes.
Oh, I found the button. I'm sorry. I'm so not used to having a cell phone and using it. It's an 8.5 for me this evening. I feel nurtured by the group and excited to see how this is all going to unfold. So that's my feedback for this evening.
Nice.
Good job.
From 1 to 10, Jackie?
She gave an
8.5.
I heard it. My brain did a backflip. Apologies, Jackie. Thank you. Leslie, would you like to share your biggest takeaway?
Thank you. That's a 10 for me tonight. That's good to be back. Good to learn. I guess it's just great to learn some of these things that we have tonight and in sharing, working through. Now I'm losing my words, Patty. The one thing that I've highlighted a few things here tonight, but the one that seems to be the biggest is that assumptions are testable. And learning how to, by example, Tim, how to test those assumptions and not just make them and use them judgmentally.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of people tend to weaponize assumptions. And they weaponize it by making an assumption, then flipping it into a possibility of truth and then a perceived truth, which has got no place anywhere. And it just people are doing it left, right, and center these days. It's just crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Could you say that again, Blair? They
People are-
weaponize an assumption by turning it to something and then something.
Yeah, they turn it from they weaponize the assumption by turning it into a possibility, like they perceive it as a possible thing. They don't test it, they just hold that idea that it could be possible, and they turn that possibility into a fact,
Mm.
and they hold that as the truth, which is how we build biases and prejudices. Oh, darn, this is a good one for me to talk on. I've been doing reels, guys. In the last 2 days, I did 15 shorts of reels that are going to be up on YouTube, well, social media. But there we go. How we use assumptions is going to be a talking point for one of my things here. Anyway, just thought it would be a good one.
It is.
Yes. Well, thank you, Leslie. Appreciate that. I'm going to test another assumption. Lori, are you in a place where you can share or would like to share?
Yeah, you can come in here. That would be fun. Yep, that's fine.
I just
come close to me.
I can't.
No, you're gonna have to.
Sorry.
There we go.
I was in the other room, living room. Anyway, yeah, this was really great. It's a very sensitive subject. I thought you guys handled it extremely well. Everybody who was participating, giving and receiving did a phenomenal job. It's tender, especially Brent, you know, what you were doing, and Leslie, first time. It was great. Like it's very delicate subject and has to be handled very delicately. And I think you guys did a great job. So kudos to you. I give it a 10.
Good, great.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Lori.
You're welcome.
Patty.
Yes, sir. I give it a 9 tonight. Connecting the body sensations, aside from my lack of vocabulary tonight, but the body sensations and the creating metaphors. I really like the idea of creating metaphors for the positivities of the way the body sensations feel with the feedback to let them sink in, you know, like rain on the earth. And I very much enjoyed watching Leslie and Brent especially, and Jackie receive the feedback, the desire to grow, the desire to learn, really took an extra vulnerability tonight. And I think Lori pointed that out beautifully. It is a vulnerable and a sensitive thing, especially if you're asking for points of growth. And so I just want to acknowledge the courage it took to ask for those things and the grace with which you received them. And looking forward to seeing what the growing edges look like as you carry some of these things forward. I'm excited about, I feel excited when I have the opportunity to see you grow. I gave it a 9. Yes. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Patty. Becky, you want to give yours?
Okay. I would also say 9 tonight. I love the dynamic that the BDE brings, the way in which everybody on chooses to show up and to risk and share with honesty. It is a very unique setting, and watching the dynamic happen, the thoughtfulness, the care and concern. I too appreciated the conversation around body sensations and actually being able to see it in real time. Leslie, you know, and Brent, with the way in which you guys are communicating, and you too, Jackie, as far as your willingness to constantly grow and improve is inspiring, because where else in your life, and this is an assumption, right? Where else in your life do you have an opportunity to come and be this level of open and learn skills and tools that you can implement and grow and become more of who you want to be, which is super, super powerful and inspiring. So again, 9 for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm.
Blair.
You know, I 9.25. I was thinking 9.5, and then I went, no, 9. Then I go, no, it's higher than that. 9.25. So there we go. To split the difference. That works well for me tonight. What worked for me tonight was Brent. You're jumping in, you're getting involved, you're sharing about where, asking the questions about where did you find that in your body, your skill, your class, your dignity, your manner in which you held Leslie respectfully accountable for his own emotions. Leslie, your bravery, your focus, your intention of engaging with your emotions, that was huge, like huge. I would not, like when I was working with you over a year ago now, I wouldn't have even dared risk that at that point in time. You have grown so much in a year. It is staggering to see your growth, sir. I am incredibly proud of you. So that is huge. And again, where
Thank you.
else? You're very, very welcome, sir. Very welcome. It is amazing to see Jackie and what she's able to accomplish here, and how her openness, her sincerity, her growing edges, all of us here, and the grace and dignity that you brought, Lori, with the recognition of the tenderness and the risking that this all is, the amount of risk that's here, and yet the safety that also exists within this group, to be uncomfortable and learn in a safe place. So that's been huge. So great work tonight, everybody. Great work. I very much enjoyed tonight. So fun. We've got new stuff next week though. So we're now done with feedback, at least as far as I know we are. So anyway, that's it for me. I'm done. Tim?
Blair, appreciate you. It was a 9.5 for me tonight. I greatly appreciated being on and seeing, just much to echo what Blair just shared. It was really, um, it was neat watching Brent and Leslie and Jackie and their vulnerability and their willingness to grow and to learn, and to be open to that growth, even though there is a level of uncomfort that comes in there. It's just to watch how the three of you specifically showed up tonight and were leaning in, and the conversation around the body sensations I found really enlightening as well. I find myself watching a lot more of the body movements and stuff now, and it is fascinating to watch how people not only verbally communicate, but how they receive and give, from the body movement. It's really fascinating. So the conversation tonight was excellent, and thank you, everybody who showed up, for leaning in. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
and leave it to my wife to take us out.
All right, you guys, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the BDE. As a reminder, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 Eastern, we're here learning mind models and learning how we can apply them to our lives. If you have joined us on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. And again, that helps the algorithm so that we can get this resource and tool experience, right, out to more people. If you guys have had your life touched by mind models, we do ask also that if you feel inclined to write a testimonial or share a 2-minute video clip on how mind models have impacted your life, and you can send those to Blair at rewiringthemind.com. And you guys, we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Night.
Good
Bye,
night, everyone.
guys.
Y'all take
Bye.
care.